This is Eric with the Low VA Rates, coming to you live here on Facebook and anywhere else you might be watching this feed. Wearing red as always. Today is Red Friday. Every day is Red Friday, where we remember everyone deployed. So get involved, wear red, show your true colors. If you support the military, deployed or home here safe, please wear red. That's what we do on Fridays. Let's jump right into the real purpose of our Friday videos, and that is we like to share the knowledge that we have with everyone that could use it. And today we're going to talk about 5 VA home loan myths. So, I don't have a dictionary in front of me, but I'm going to go ahead and try to explain what a myth is or define a myth. A myth is something that people believe is factual because they've been told that over time, or perhaps they were just born thinking that, and in all reality, well, no, if you were born thinking that, that wouldn't be a myth. But if you've learned over time that something is fact when really it is not, that is my definition of a myth. And we hear there's all sorts of myths. Borrowers will call us up on the phone, or they'll chat live with us on our website, send us a message through Facebook, asking questions like these, and we're going to debunk those myths today, okay? Number 1, no particular order, by the way, but these are the top 5 myths that we hear people asking us about or discussing throughout each week. The VA does the home loan. Okay, so they'll call us up and we'll talk a little bit about our company. They say, well, why wouldn't I go straight through the VA? Or they would say something like, well, you know, since the VA is doing the loan and I served in the military, XYZ. That's a myth. The VA does not do loans. The VA is not taking any of their money and lending it to you in order for you to buy the home. What they do is they authorize lenders like Low VA Rates to do the home loan. Okay, so we are an authorized and approved VA home lender. We can do your loans. The VA will guarantee the loan, and the VA has provided this program through the home loan benefits that you have for having served in the military, but the VA does not do the loan. That would take care of myth number 1, okay? The VA does not do the VA home loan. Myth number 2. I can only use my VA benefits once. This is such an old wives' tale, and it's a myth that's been perpetrated for many, many years. Not true. You can use your VA home loan benefits as many times as you want. I would venture to say that there are veterans out there who have used their VA home loan benefits over 10 times. And they probably still have years and years to live, so they'll probably use it longer than that. So you can use your VA benefits as many times as you want. So to get rid of this myth, what are we going to do? I can use my VA benefits many times, okay? That's the truth. You can use your VA benefits many, many times. Myth number 3, I can only own one house with a VA home loan. Also a big myth. We do many loans here every single month for people that own more than one home with a VA loan. And that doesn't mean that the husband's a veteran and he has one house, and the spouse is a veteran and she has one house. That's not what I'm referring to. That is a joint loan, which we can talk about at another time. It all comes down to your entitlement, okay? If you have not utilized all of your eligibility or entitlement on house number 1, and there is sufficient entitlement left to get a VA home loan on house number 2, go for it, okay? So to get rid of this myth, I can own more than one house with a VA loan. That would be the truth. So, switching over this way, myth number 4. Tim, come on in, my good friend. We're gonna invite a guest in, but we're not gonna put him on camera quite yet. We do have a surprise for you, so keep watching. Myth number 4, my credit has to be over 640 to get a VA loan. Big myth. That myth has not been around forever. Matter of fact, if you go back to about 2008 or 9, during and after the housing collapse, when lenders just kind of got real tight, they tightened up their underwriting guidelines, they stopped taking what they considered risk, and they got very, very conservative. The industry started putting overlays or requirements on top of the VA's rules, and many lenders stopped doing loans, and to this day, many lenders still will not do loans for people that do not have a 640 FICO score. So this is a relatively new myth. Let's debunk it now, okay? It pains me when veterans call up and say, well, I haven't even tried to get a loan because I'm under a 640. Not cool. The VA, as we have trained many times on these Friday videos, does not have a minimum FICO score requirement. So to get rid of that myth, my credit has to be over 640. Basically, your credit score doesn't matter on a VA loan. We do loans for people below 500. We closed loans this month with people down in the high 400s. We've also denied loans for people that are above 640. We look at other factors when determining your ability to get a VA loan. Myth number 5, I can't buy a condo with a VA loan. Big myth. Now, it has become more difficult to get VA loans done on condos than it would have been a few years ago. I don't actually know if that has anything to do with the housing collapse or not, but it happened. It started changing right around the same time. Historically, if FHA had approved a condo, then VA would kind of piggyback that FHA approval and say, this is an FHA approved condo complex, so go ahead and put a VA loan on it. That no longer is the case. The condo must be VA approved. So this myth we would debunk it by saying, I can buy a condo with a VA loan if it's an approved condo, okay? And the VA has a list of requirements that they would make a condo go through in order to determine whether or not it was eligible to put VA financing on. So these are your 5 VA home loan myths for today. I'm going to invite any questions, and normally we have to wait a few moments until questions come in. So we're going to invite Tim. I'm not even going to try to explain what's going on here. I'm going to let Tim take camera here for a second.
Hey, howdy, VA Nation,
Yes.
from Low VA Race today. It's the first football game weekend of the season for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's why I'm breaking the rule, and I'm wearing my hat indoors today to show the Low VA Race Nation, because Nebraska is home to Memorial Stadium, which actually used to be known as Veterans Memorial Stadium. It was built to recognize the veterans' sacrifice to our country, and especially in Nebraska. Nebraska also has members of the Army National Guard of the great state of Nebraska.
You were just telling us about the Veterans Memorial Stadium and something about some sort of entrance.
Oh yes, because the Huskers, man, they got to come in. It's a huge thing. It's like as cool as we get in Nebraska. Remember, second largest city in Nebraska on a football weekend is Veterans Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, in case you need to know that. But they have members of the Army National Guard protect their entrance to the stadium. They have a military aircraft flyover.
Every game?
Every game. Nice. Because it's gee whiz cool.
Love it.
Because it's Nebraska, baby.
So I don't know if you would just scroll back about a year or so in our live video feed. It was about a year ago that you were in this same sort of get up, right?
Yeah.
Looking at all sorts of crazy Husker Nation.
Yes.
Cornhusker.
We love the Cornhusker.
So I wish I could talk more about football. I'm from Ohio. Ohio State won last night. So what we're trying to do, get all of our fans here on Facebook with Low VA Rates. Why don't you chime in and tell us who you think is going to win in this Nebraska versus
Arkansas State game.
Okay, so just a little comment below this video. It's either Nebraska or Arkansas State, and we'll see what the fans think.
And if it's not Nebraska, I may have to take some mental health time next week.
Okay, sounds good. That said, any questions? Did any questions come in from our other video? If you're watching this video, we're doing a follow-up on the 5 VA home loan myths. But, we had some technical difficulties. The old trusty iPhone was not so trusty. Battery died. But, I'm not a big football fan, but I will tell you this. I love college football. This time of year, I don't know, the air smells different.
Yeah.
There's tailgating. And we look forward to seeing Tim and a bunch of other employees dressed all up nice and fancy. Oh, and by the way, we're located here in good old Utah. Big rivalry between the blue and the red. Now, normally in Utah, it's BYU versus the Utes.
Yes.
The Utes, but we've never played each other, have we?
Just one time, and it didn't go well for us. We squandered a 29-year home winning season.
Oh,
I'm still in therapy for that, so we're not going to talk about it. Group says I should let go of my remorse issues.
Yeah, she should. Let go.
Okay.
Letting go is always easier. You know who else does that? Elsa from Frozen or something like that. Just let it go, Tim.
Your kids are younger.
We'll see you next week. We got a little off topic today.
See you guys.